For the clay tulip, you'll take a 3/4 inch piece of clay, the size of your thumbnail. Press your sphere slightly so it's a thick coin shape, and then you'll roll it one direction, and then you'll roll it the opposite direction to make a petal. Take a lump of clay, about 2 inches, about the inside of your hand, about a 2-inch lump, and make it into a very casual bowl which will protect your tulip in the firing. Oh wow, look at how dirty my hands are. This is going to mess up my project. Let's go ahead and wash so we have nice clean hands. Take your tulip petals and sort of press them in the middle of the petal, touching them many times to make a spoon shape petal. You'll put pressure on the inside of the tulip petal mostly, and that will create this cupping spoon shape. Put a rough edge on the top of the tulip petals by pinching a rough edge into the top. Put a damp cloth over them while they rest so they don't dry out too much. Take a sphere of clay, it's about a 3/4 inch or about the size of your thumbnail, and stick it on the end of your pencil. It's going to be the center of your tulip. Decide how big you want your tulips to be and start to place your tulip petals on that sphere. Make them all the same height. They're all the same tallness. Start surrounding your tulip, going to the halfway point of each petal and putting on a new petal. Now, because my clay is so wet, much like a coil pot, I'm able to pinch it into a unified clay body, pinching it and using pressure and smearing it together. You can't do this with dry clay, only with really wet clay, and that's why you always lay a wet paper towel over your pieces of clay while you're working to keep them very hydrated. Now I'm going to press some lines into the sides of the petal as a detail. You don't want to leave ugly burrs all over your clay, so you're going to have to follow up with a soft sponge or your finger. You do not want any yucky bumps left behind on your clay. And then you're going to slowly pinch it off of the pencil. Cut it off when you feel that it's been pinched together and your clay body has been unified. Now poke a hole because we're going to put wire in the bottom of these after they fire. And then go ahead and smooth it out and make it look pretty. Now's a good time for that soft sponge you've got. Never underestimate the power of the soft sponge. And remember, this is how we're going to keep them safe while they're drying, on a piece of paper towel in a bowl. Make sure to mark that bowl with your initials and your class period. And the paper towel is going to keep that flower from sticking to the bowl. Here's how they're going to dry and how they're going to go into the kiln. How about a leaf? Let's talk about the leaf for the tulip. It looks really different than the rose leaf. We'll start with a little cylinder of clay. This one's rolled to about 4 inches, but you can just decide what you want. And now we just have to curl it in a little bit because we're going to glue it to the wire later. So I'm going to give it a little seam, a little score, and then I'm going to bend it just a little bit. Okay, I'd probably follow this up with my damp sponge. And go ahead and lay it with your tulip in a nice protected place.